Assalamualaikum and very good evening to all. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Syafika Khusni. So today my team member include Muhammad ARSYAEFFA, ARSYAEFFA SABARI and THARSHINI. So today we are going to present on our topic that we have chosen, which is the effect of activity-based costing implementation towards the cost efficiency of manufacturing and services industries in Malaysia. So for our dependent variable, which is cost efficiency, it can be defined as the ability of the company to produce their output at minimal cost. And cost efficiency also help a company to increase their cost allocation. Whereas for our independent variable, which is activity-based costing, or we say as ABC, ABC is a costing technique that detects a company activities and allocate expenses based on their actual activities. And ABC is actually a tool for profit improvement. And what is the relationship between these two things that are considered as our IV and DV is that in an organization, if you want to achieve a cost efficiency, you will need to have an accurate mechanism. Now, ABC appeared to be an accurate costing system based on accounting theories that we have learned for the past years. So for background study, our dependent variable, we actually refer to Lopez 2019 that consider cost effectiveness as their dependent variable. Same goes to us. And for our IV, Zaini 2020 also consider the implementation of ABC as their independent variable. Some other studies that also consider cost effectiveness with different IVs, such as Morais 2018, that investigated the relationship between scale of production and cost effectiveness. So the difference from our studies and previous studies that we have reviewed are, the previous studies on this matter were mostly focused on implication of ABC alone or the cost effectiveness alone. And there were rarely any studies that actually focus on these two things. So our study is trying to focus on the effect of ABC implementation towards the cost efficiency of both manufacturing and services industries in Malaysia. So the gap of study actually identified as the previous study shows mixed result, and there is very limited studies that focus on cost efficiency. So it was very hard for us to find studies that actually focus on our DV only, and there are also very limited studies that focus on manufacturing and services industries together. So for our problem statement, as you can see on your screen here, we have actually provided statistical data for 10 plantation companies that are listed in Bursa Malaysia in terms of their annual cost of revenue from the year 2017 until 2021. And as you can see from the graph, there are not any extreme curve that we can see roughly on the graph, which means that every year their cost of revenue are pretty much similar to each other. So what are we trying to say here is that even though our study will focus on the small and medium enterprises and also plantation company in Malaysia as our sample, we would like to find out whether their monthly cost structure, is there any changes if they actually implemented ABC within their organization. So our research question is, what is the effect of ABC implementation towards the cost efficiency of manufacturing and services industries? And our research objective is to investigate the effect of ABC implementation on the cost efficiency and to see whether the implementation will bring any changes to the cost associated with the business activities. And for our literature review, we actually reviewed more than 20 papers for us to compile into our study. And for the first 5 that we have listed here, these are all related to our IV only, which is ABC implementation. And as you can see here, none of these are related to cost effectiveness, and some of the studies are not done in Malaysia. And same goes to the next 5 that we have roughly listed here, which is all related to our DV only, and none of them actually related to ABC. So, and most of them are not done in Malaysia. So those are the significant differences from the studies that we have reviewed with our study. So therefore, to the best of our knowledge, we are trying to focus on the effect of ABC implementation towards the cost efficiency of those 2 sectors, not just the level of implementation. And our independent variable is identified as ABC implementation. Our dependent variable is identified as cost efficiency. And again, to the best of our knowledge, based on the findings of previous studies, so our studies is expected to find there is a hypothesis, which is there is a relationship between ABC implementation and cost efficiency. So our research design is cross-sectional design, and our research strategy is quantitative strategy because we want to test out our hypothesis. So quantitative strategy is the best strategy for us. And our data collection technique, we actually use primary data collection because we actually adopted a questionnaire and survey from 2 different papers for our IV and DV. We actually refer to Ahmad 2017 for our IV only and Zaini 2020 for our DV only. And the demographic question include types of industry, number of full-time employees, average annual sales, and business duration. Why these are considered as our demographic question is because the sample that we are trying to focus here is actually more than 100 companies in Malaysia. So the company itself stand as the sample of our study. So that's why the demographic question must be asking about the company itself, not the people inside the company. So our expected result based on Maha Faisal 2020, they found out that most businesses have actually switched from traditional costing to activity-based costing in order for them to achieve a more attractive product cost and pricing. And also they say that ABC implementation also helped them to improve profitability and their competitiveness in the market. And according to NAIR and TAN 2018, they discovered that external environment, cost-cutting strategies, users' attitude, and firm size are all these elements that have actually significant positive relationship with the ABC application among Malaysian SMEs. Therefore, based on the findings that of previous study, our study expect to find that there is a positive relationship between ABC implementation and cost efficiency. So the significance of our study, we are hoping that if managers, if they are actually reading our paper, maybe it can help them in terms of enhancing their knowledge regarding the ABC implementation. What are the advantages of implementing ABC within their organization? For fresh graduate students, we are hoping that our study can help them to gain more knowledge about ABC implementation, especially if they are trying to enter an organization that are actually implementing ABC within their daily operation. And for future researcher, we are hoping that our study can help them to gain more knowledge, more deeper insight about the previous paper that actually related to our topic, to ABC implementation and cost efficiency, because we actually reviewed more than 20 papers and compiled them into one study. So we hope that our study can help them to gain more knowledge on that topic. And the biggest limitation of our study is actually in terms of time for data collection, because we didn't have time to prepare our own questionnaire and survey and distribute it ourselves to the company, to the sample that we want, and to wait for them for their response and analyze the data. We didn't have time for that. So that's why for future study, we are recommending that to make more time on gathering data, on preparing the questionnaire ourselves and distribute it ourselves and wait for their response and actually analyze the data that we receive to find the actual result of the topic that we are trying to study. So yeah, I think that's all from us. Thank you.